My name is Dean Winchester. I'm an Aquarius. I enjoy sunsets, long walks on the beach, and frisky women.
It's a very nerdy day in the neighborhood, fangirls and fanboys. Corrigan Vaughn and Kristen Latterell here, joined by the one and only Leah Rae Miller, author of one of our favorite seasonal reads, The Summer I Became a Nerd. We're going to go full fangirl as we discuss fandom, the book, and the Secret Life of Writers blog. We'll naturally talk about stuff in pop culture, like Weird Al's new star-studded parody of Pharrell's Happy, Ridley Scott's weird obsession with biblical epics, the official trailer for the newest series of Doctor Who, and J.K. Rowling's continuing saga of the Quidditch World Cup. So thank you for being here, Leah. We're super stoked.
Yay!
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh,
I'm excited.
As we have said before, we are big fans of Summer I Became a Nerd. This was a random discovery I had last year while walking through a Barnes & Noble. If people don't remember me talking about this a few weeks ago, I was walking through a Barnes & Noble and happened to see this on the shelf, and because I'm an impulse buyer, I bought it immediately. And it turned out it was like literally the day it came out. I happened to be walking through that day and it was on the shelf. I was like, why not? And loved it and have made everybody else read it ever since then and shared the love.
True. I've never given it back. I've
It's
stolen
true.
it.
She has the book. I was like, maybe I should refresh my memory on this last night. And then
Too
I was
bad.
like, oh, Laddie has it.
I'm still reading it over and over again. So wonderful. I brought it to show you guys. Here it is.
Yes, that's the book.
Aww.
That is Summer I Became a Nerd. Cute
Thank
cover.
you. Yes.
So, as we've been doing lately, we will get into discussing the book and, what makes you tick. But first, the important aspect of any show about fangirls is that we get a feel for your fandom and the things that you're into. So we like to do these little things called top threes. And we're just going to ask you a few of your top three things and get a feel for you're interested. And because we know it's impossible to completely prioritize what your favorite things in the world are, we'll say the things that right now grab your attention.
Okay.
So, first category, top three fandoms.
Okay. I always have to say Harry Potter first.
Nice.
Harry Potter is the love of my life. My first tattoo was Harry Potter inspired, so gotta say Harry Potter first.
That's awesome. My sister will be stoked to hear that.
Can we see the tattoo, or is it in like a not place we can see?
No, you can't see it.
Okay. That's okay. I just thought I'd ask in case it was on your
hip.
arm or your foot or
yeah.
something. I just thought I'd put that out there.
No.
Yeah.
I do want to get another Harry Potter inspired tattoo, but that's further in the future.
Yeah.
Well, I just looked at a Harry Potter list of like BuzzFeed, and it was like the 20 best Harry Potter tattoos, and you should, if you haven't seen it,
they're all so pretty.
They're so. Anyway, okay, Harry Potter.
Let's see. I guess Doctor Who.
Okay. Well, that's convenient.
Yeah. I love my DW, and then Supernatural.
Yeah.
I'm a big Supernatural fan.
I mean,
yeah. I guess that's like the top three right now, you know?
Yeah, those are very apt fandoms, I think. I mean, you can probably throw in a lot of, like, right now, like, if you're on Tumblr and things like that, you're seeing a lot of, like, Captain America, a lot of Bucky fandom, like, things like that. But I think, really, those are solid. Any fangirl worth their salt probably loves Supernatural. I mean...
Worth their salt. Ha! I see it
now.
It's hard not to, right? I mean...
Very
The inside jokes, the geekiness.
It's true.
Yeah.
Nerdist just posted this article of the top song, their like favorite best song moments from Supernatural, and it was amazing because me and my friends, actually when the show first started-ish, sort of, my friend made me this mix CD of all of the songs from it, and it's still one of my favorite CDs. And she actually made me like 3 volumes, so it's like, you know, it's a lot of CDs, but it's amazing. And this girl was listening. Oh, in this episode, I'm like, that's the one that we love. And it was like, this girl knew me. I'm like, I need to be her friend because, anyway, that's beside the point.
Yeah, every time Carry On My Wayward Son. Whenever that comes on, anywhere I am, I'm just like, oh,
Yes.
it's just
Oh my god, I
falling.
can't even. It's so good. And they also, just FYI for you guys, they on Spotify, CW actually makes like Supernatural season playlists, so you can go on there and like listen to the music from each season.
I know what I'm doing the rest of the afternoon.
But you know what I haven't seen is the animated Supernatural. I hear there's an animated Supernatural show.
Really?
Like, I'll catch it every once in a while. Yes! I don't know.
On
Maybe
TV?
I'm just, don't know what. Not on TV. Because, we would know.
Yeah,
I don't
right.
know. I'll have to Google it more. But I know I've heard about it.
Yeah, I want to hear about this action. Is it like fan-made, do you know? Like, well, I guess we know nothing about this.
I don't know. Jared and Jensen did voices for it. I could totally be. I know this. I didn't dream this. I've seen this many times on like Tumblr and stuff, and like quizzes, Supernatural quizzes. I'll just play the, quiz up. I'll do the Supernatural quizzes. That's been on there, and I'm like, where is this? I need this in my life.
Right. Oh man, and you're playing Quiz Up?
Yeah.
So addictive.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I was number 2 in Louisiana for Supernatural the other night. And I didn't know whether to be really proud or just like, oh man, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah. No,
I was really proud in the end.
That was last week. I was number 3 in Washington because I was on vacation in movies. I was like, oh,
Big
hey.
topic.
Yeah, I was like, look at that. Apparently, Washington people don't watch a lot of movies or something. I don't know. I don't feel like I was doing that well. But, yeah, that game, I'll be like...
Play it? Lottie?
Is it on your phone or something?
It is on your phone.
You guys, I'm so late. Is this like a techie thing? I don't know. Is it like an app?
Yeah, it's an app. It's like a quiz app.
Okay.
I
don't have that one.
Oh my gosh. There's millions of categories. Like, there's history categories on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's it called? What? App up? Question up? What's up?
Quiz up.
Quiz up. I'm going to write this on a Post-it.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
I'm going to use this business card.
Yeah, it's just got, like, categories for, like, everything you can possibly think of. Like, I was playing a specifically Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy one.
I haven't done that one yet.
Oh my gosh. I was like, I can't believe they have this specific of things. Like, and sometimes you get the same clues, but generally it's pretty good. So that.
Right.
Okay, so that we did our 3 fandoms, and those were excellent choices. I think you'll find those echoed by many. We want to know also your favorite ships. Who's your OTP? What's going on with that?
This is my favorite top 3 we've ever done. I'm just saying.
Wow, this is tough. Okay. Sherlock and Molly.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sherlock. Really like those 2 people. And, this is hard.
I know, it is, isn't it? I feel like
there
I ship
are
everything.
so many. I don't know. I want Loki to have someone. I want Loki to fall
Loki and anyone.
And anyone. Me, no.
So, yeah, right, yeah. Loki and us. Yeah, I feel good about that. I've never thought about that, actually. Like, just general, I want there to be a pairing.
Yes.
Okay.
I went there, and I've been watching Teen Wolf a lot.
Oh.
And I want Styles to find somebody because...
Styles is adorable.
I mean, at first I was like him and Lydia, but Lydia kind of annoys me.
I've only watched 1 season of it, so I'm not an expert on...
It gets better. Better.
Well, I enjoyed what I watched, don't get me wrong. I mean, I was riveted. But this is what I always do with things, is that I'm like, I super love this! And then I finish a season, or like I'm halfway through a season, and I'm like, squirrel! And that's it. I like don't go back to it.
New show.
Yeah. So that's a Styles and someone, and Loki and someone, and Sherlock.
I'm sure there are tons more, but I just can't. That's what I've been thinking of right here recently.
Yeah. I went through, I go through the phases with these ships and stuff, and I went through, a really, the only time I've ever gone to the point of watching, fan videos of a ship and that kind of thing was Destiel, and it was the weirdest
oh my gosh
phase. I don't know why, it was just, for, a week, I watched, every Destiel video on YouTube.
It's so sweet, those two.
I know. I have a Spotify Destiel playlist that's music from Destiel fan videos and things like that.
Who makes these Did you make this your own Spotify list, or someone else made
that one.
Oh,
I made that.
That is so specific. Who comes up with that as a spot? Only the music from the videos that were made about. I'm like.
There's a niche audience for that, I'm sure. I should, publicize it. I'm sure I'd have, tons of subscribers.
Sure you would.
Here's songs that give you feels about Dean and Castiel. Yeah. Laddie, I'm curious, actually. Your OTP. Who's your biggest...
Sorry, remember, you gotta tell me what that means, because that took me a second.
Yeah,
okay.
But you got it. You figured it out.
I did. At first, I thought you were going to say OTH. I'm like, oh, yes, we're going to talk about One Tree Hill? No? Okay. Oh my goodness. This is a really hard question. You're right. I feel like I should have prepared it. I didn't know you were going to ask me this. Otherwise, I would have thought about it.
I didn't know either. It just dawned on me that I should ask you this. It's I don't even know you. Oh my gosh, it's I asked her to choose between her children or something.
I don't have any of those, so that's an easy one. Neither.
None of them.
None some. Oh my gosh. I don't.
Should we come back to you?
Yeah, let me think about it.
All right, we'll come
back
to
Laddie.
Don't
talk
to
me
for
30 seconds. Why don't you share yours, other than the one you already shared?
I said Destiel. I think that's...
Yeah, but you said that was a week, so let's
that's true.
Just...
But that's how I do it with, ships. It's always, for a week. And they're always really weird ones. Also, I spent another week, and this is probably the most vague one, on... You guys are not going to have a clue what this is. Donathan. Donnie Wahlberg and Jonathan Knight from New Kids on the Block. I don't know why it's always guys. I don't know, because I feel I ship a lot of people in shows. Tommy Q and Jude on Instant Star is probably my biggest pairing ever.
Yeah.
Which I've never seen before. I heard y'all talk about it.
Oh my gosh.
And apparently I need to.
Yes. Well, if you're going to watch Instant Star, don't watch Flashpoint afterwards.
Oh. There's a character.
So I'm in this weird Canadian drama kick right now because
she only has one channel.
Because I only have so Ion Television and it has Flashpoint, and so Flashpoint's also on Netflix. So I decided to watch it, and one of the characters in there is one of my favorite guys from Instant Star, and it doesn't end well for him.
No. She sent me this profanity-laden Facebook message that was just so upset about what they did to this character.
You guys, I legitimately sat in my dark apartment crying.
Now I can never watch this show.
I know. Well, the thing was, I was watching it, and I IMDb everything, and so I noticed he wasn't in all the episodes. And then when this episode happened, and then something happened to him in the very beginning, kind of towards the middle of it, I was like, oh no, no. And then at the end, it was just it was a traumatic way to kill him off. Absolutely traumatic. And the acting is, it's Canadian, so they're don't really know what's going on. So it's okay, but oh my gosh, it was heart-wrenching. It was awful. And I'm sitting there bawling on the freaking floor of my apartment. I'm like, oh my god. Oh,
yeah, that's rough. I feel I would have to emotionally prepare to watch that.
Yeah. Although I will say, because I've been watching a lot of Twisted.
Oh, yeah.
That I do ship Danny and Lacey. And then...
Have you ever seen Twisted, Leah?
I don't think so. What is...
Oh. It's just...
What is this?
Okay. So it's this show on ABC Family.
Yes.
And so it's super ridiculous, but it's amazing at the same time. And so what it is it's this kid, when he was 10 or something, he killed his aunt with a jump rope, strangled her, and he's only in juvie, and then he gets out when he's 16 and he goes back to school, and he had these two best friends, or who
Back to
like,
school.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back to school. Don't worry, I just murdered my aunt. But the thing is, it's weird about him is you're trying to decide. He's never told anybody why he did it. So you're watching it, trying to figure out, okay, is he a
Like,
sociopath?
is he evil or like, yeah.
Like, yes, he evil, or was his aunt doing something, and they're alluding to that she was involved in something, but you don't know what it is, and you're trying to decide if he's just like really fooling everybody because he's very charming and wonderful. But you're like, but you're also a murderer, and so I can't decide if you had like a justified reason, she was doing something to you, or if you're just crazy. And it's like sucks you in, and I'm like, what's happening? Why do I care about this? I texted Corey probably. I was like, why am I still watching this? I watched it for like 4 hours, and I'm like, I can't stop.
And the initial reason is we're having someone who is on that show, on this show in a couple weeks. And so I was like, Kristen, you should watch some of this so that you're like ready for it. And little did I know I was going to begin the spiral of Kristen watching tons of it.
Luckily, I've gotten hooked on Flashpoint, so I've been watching that a lot. And so I do love Jules and what's his name? Jules and Sam on Flashpoint.
I'm sure there's a Tumblr for this. Like,
I'm sure there is. I don't really know how to use Tumblr, so
that's okay.
I looked at the one that you set up for us once, but I didn't understand it. There's like pictures or something, and you just look at them. Is that what it is?
Oh,
you guys are making me feel like that's real to me.
That's if you haven't fallen down the rabbit hole of Tumblr.
Yeah,
that's what you do.
Really deep down the rabbit hole of Tumblr, where you're like 4 hours later. What? Where am I?
Who? Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Okay, so then, and on that note of the Tumblr rabbit hole and other such fandom things, the other top three we wanted to get from you is your top 3 fanfics. What are you reading?
Oh, fanfics.
Yeah.
I haven't been reading a lot of fanfics here lately, but there is one that just like, I love it so much. It's The Ravendale's Ghost by A. Beaumont, and it's on fanfiction.net.
Okay.
And it's a Shirley, and just the other day she posted a new chapter, and she hadn't posted a chapter since like October of last year.
Oh, that is the worst.
I hate that. I hate that.
And I flipped out. I was like, I gotta get home so I can read this. And yeah.
Oh, man.
It's really good. It's like Sherlock and John and Molly go to investigate some kind of death in a haunted house, and
yeah, I
think
it's
written really well, really well. Not that fan fictions aren't, but this one.
So
it's a mixed bag, But I actually do remember. I think you posting about this in October or whatever when the last time there was a chapter and recommending it to my friend Bree. So, that's. I'm interested to check that one out. I should finally actually take that recommendation and check it. So a Shirley. And that's your big one right now. So one big one is fine.
I just haven't been reading much fan fiction lately.
Yeah. You're busy writing and things like that.
Yeah. I've been writing my own fan fiction, but whenever I get bored, and I can't say anything about this.
Oh,
I was gonna say, okay, so who are your favorites to write about? But it's not
I've been into the Musketeers here lately. Have y'all been watching that on BBC America?
No.
I don't have that.
I don't have that either.
I didn't even know that, I knew BBC America existed. I didn't know Musketeers existed. Is it,
really
based
good.
on, the Three Musketeers?
Yeah. Yeah, there's D'Artagnan and, Porthos and Athos and Aramis and...
You guys, this sounds like my dream, because I love the Disney version.
It's so good. It's so
Chris
good.
O'Donnell.
It's hot men and... swashbuckling and swords and guns and ladies and...
This is the first season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember watching a BBC America trailer of all of the shows, and I remember thinking, gosh, that kind of looks like a Three Musketeers show, because they didn't put the names in anything, which was super annoying.
Yeah.
So you're Googling possible Three Musketeers show, maybe? But they'll probably come on Netflix. They have BBC America stuff at some point, right?
That's true.
Or sometimes Hulu does.
They play it on their website sometimes, don't they? When a new episode comes out, they'll be like, it's available on our website for a little while. I could be completely wrong.
Oh.
Well, you can lie to us and we won't know because we don't have that channel. So, literally, Kristen has one channel, Ion. And then
it's positively entertaining, though.
Positively entertaining. And I have, cheap cable with nothing interesting on it. So, I watch a lot of Hulu and... I watch a lot of Travel Channel, things like that. So okay, great stuff with the top threes, and let's just chat about you then.
Yeah, we're so excited. I'm so excited you're here. By the way, I kind of feel super nerdy because it's like I read this book and I'm like, we're gonna meet this girl. Like, this is so rad.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And then I was like creeping on your, because I don't have one of those Twitter one things either. So I was trying to look at yours, but I don't understand how to read it. So why don't you just? I don't know. I'm like the worst interviewer ever. I'm like, I try to look stuff up about you. I don't know what's going on. Now. Gosh, Corey's going to fire me from being podcast co-host.
No, I'm entertained by this.
Are you? Oh, great.
As you were.
We'll just add it to the list of things I don't get. But just tell us, I guess, about you. Like, how did you come about writing this book? Like, how did this story... Should we talk about what the story is first, I guess?
Oh, yeah, that's good. Tell us
about the story first of the book, and then talk about kind of how you came about it with it.
Okay. Well, it's just a story about a girl who is a cheerleader, and she went through a rough experience when she was younger, and it was because of her love of all things nerdy, and she got picked on, and then she was like, I'm not going to let that happen again, so she just decided to become really popular and not show that part of herself to anybody else, but she continued, to love nerddom. And then one day, the last issue of the comic book that she loves doesn't come in the mail like it's supposed to, so she has to go down to the comic shop and get one. And then she runs into a guy that she has a huge crush on, she won't admit it, and we go from there. And he recognizes her, and
which is her nightmare.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And I finished my first attempt at a novel, and it was horrible.
As they always are.
Yes. And so I put that away, and I was like, well, what do I want to do now? And I had read Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. Have y'all read that or heard of it? Oh my God, read it.
Okay.
Add it to the
down.
Under Quiz Up, I'm writing Anna and the French Kiss. That's what it's called?
Yeah.
All right.
And I just loved that book. It was witty and funny and, heartfelt and sweet. And I thought, maybe I could write something like that. And they always say, write what you know. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, I'm going to write about something that I love, something that I know at least a decent amount about. And so comics. And then the story just kind of developed from there. And characters and stuff.
That makes sense. Yeah. Now, were you an undercover nerd or like?
Yeah, it's just how autobiographical is this book?
It's not really undercover. It was just like whenever I would talk about the nerdy stuff to my friends, they would just kind of blank stare and be like, "That's great." So they didn't get it. And I was like, but this is so awesome. Look how awesome this is. And they're like, yeah.
Right.
So I know how that feels to not have someone that's as into it, that you can talk to.
Yeah.
But I didn't really hide it. I just didn't get to really wallow in it like I wanted to, because I didn't have any friends who liked it too.
That's how I always felt too. It was like it never felt like I really like had to cover up being nerdy things so much as just like nobody had a clue what I was talking about.
Yeah, that's what happens to me. I make references all the time and people just stare at me.
Yeah,
like okay, and I'm like, God, and I think it's so funny, and I'll like make a joke, and people think it. Sometimes they'll think it's really funny, and I'm like, oh, they don't get that reference, but I'm being really funny right now, but they don't know why, So sometimes it works in my advantage, and sometimes it's crickets. It's like I don't get what you're saying. So. Yeah, I know. That's usually the worst. So this is your first novel. So the one that you wrote initially but didn't like, are you going to try and redo that one? Or is it like something a good story so that you maybe just want to revamp? Or
my ultimate goal for that one would be to turn it into like a comic or a graphic novel.
Ooh, I like
it has a lot of visual strangeness going on, so I think it would do really well. as a graphic novel.
Yeah.
And that's a completely different world than publishing is. So, but that's my ultimate goal for that one. Maybe someday.
I like
That's
that.
cool.
Yeah, because there's, obviously there need to be more ladies making graphic novels and things like that, and I think there's a lot of good stories to tell that it's a medium that maybe we don't explore enough, I've had this thought myself in writing things like, hey, this would be kind of cool as a graphic novel, but there's a lot to it. It's a lot different than being on your own and writing something. It relies on a team of people, and
the way you write a comic is completely different. It's script form, and it's not like movie script. It's its own type of script, so that's tough to learn and figure out how you want to do it. So
yeah, I can imagine that being hard. Like, how would you write it without the pic? I mean, I don't know. It's like thinking in box form. I don't know. That just seems like that would be difficult. Or I don't know.
There's so many different ways to do it. It's ridiculous.
That's the thing I seem to come across a lot when talking to people who create graphic novels or looking at things online about the creation process, is that like there's no one way that is the accepted way to do it, and every artist and writer and everything does it so differently from one another. So I mean, that's kind of heartening, right? That like you can't super do it wrong.
No.
Or there's a lot of ways to do it wrong and right. I don't know.
Yeah. Like you look at like Neil Gaiman's scripts are like just paragraphs upon paragraphs of description and how he wants everything done. And then you look at somebody else's and it's just like, do what you want here. Make them look surprised.
Yeah. Right.
So many different ways.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've heard like people talk to, sorry, Kristen, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good. Go.
Like friends who do the writing side of it, talking about how important it is to be able to find someone who does art that you can work with because of how closely you're having someone try to interpret your vision, and how difficult it is to convey that, and you can't have someone who you're going to have like a falling out with like 3 weeks into it. So do you have like people you've thought of working with, or is this still like a distant dream?
I mean, of course I've thought about it, like who I would love to draw my comic, this guy from this comic book, and but either from the way I understand it, and I could be wrong, either you come to the publisher, you come at the publisher with your artist in tow, or they pair you up with someone.
Right.
And I have friends who might be into it, but that's a lot of work finding somebody.
It really is,
if it ever happens, I'll just be like, just give me somebody who draws good.
Do you have anything else that you're working on right now, book novel-wise?
I'm working on...
I know you said, or you can't talk about, I don't know.
I mean, I can't talk too in-depth about it, but there are a couple of things that I'm working on. So,
awesome.
One is a young adult horror novel.
I like that.
What?
Yeah.
Oh man, what can we ask? Like, what genre of horror, or is it like pretty under wraps at this point?
I'm hoping it creeps some people out. Like,
yes, I love it.
Really creeps them out, but I can't really talk too much about it.
That's okay.
That's exciting, though. I mean, I grew up, in the age of Goosebumps, for one thing, obviously, and Fear Street, and then, of course, being like a young Stephen King fan and things like that.
Me too.
Have you, this is a question I always want to ask people because the answer is usually no and it's unfortunate, but have you read The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon?
I did read it, like, right after it came out, I want to say. That's the one where she's in the forest.
Yes.
And the baseball, and there's a bear. Isn't there a bear?
It's something like that, yeah.
It's so long. But yeah, I did read it. And I remember just being like,
nobody ever read, like, that's one of those rare Stephen King books that, like, kind of flew under the radar. And it's short, too.
Yeah,
which you would think, like, everyone would read it. And that scared me so badly that I remember, like, just immediately going into my sister's room and crawling into her bunk bed with her, and she like kind of woke up and was like, "What's happening?" I was like, "Shh." I just need...
You're like, maybe people have read it, Corey, but they have this, like, PTSD of blocking out. Because, like, Leah's kind of like, I think I read it. I'm like, she's obviously blocked out all of the horrible creepiness. Yeah. Oh, the only thing people remember is that, it feels icky.
Made me feel...
And I don't know why.
Yeah, there was this thing and this other thing.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, it's like, she's this little girl who's lost in the woods, you know, she's, like, wandered away from her family. And all she has is, like, a radio with her, on which she can listen to Red Sox games. And that is her only company. And she is being, like, followed by something that we don't know what it is. And
that was what I thought was a bear.
Yeah, and I think at one point, like, I think there's, like, a vision or something. Like, I never remember how anything ends, ever. This is...
Was it Tom Gordon?
It was Tom Gordon. She was being followed by Tom Gordon. No, and it's just that, like, throughout the book, though, I think the bear thing comes in, like, in the last, like, 5 pages or something like that, you know? But there's something following her, and she's not seeing it, and you're seeing, like, tracks or, like, evidence that there's something there, and it's just so unsettling the whole time. So all this
I feel like I'm going to start crying in a second. I don't like that. I don't like it when it's following them and you're like, turn around!
Yeah.
It's right there! And they never listen to you.
Yeah. And it's impressive for a book to be able to pull that off, you know? I think that's the thing that I'm always impressed by with, like, horror writers and things like that, is being able to keep that suspense in something where I'm reading it, I'm not seeing it happen. So was that the kind of stuff you grew up, like Stephen King and, you know, all your R.L. Steins, things like that? Like, what are your inspirations for writing horror for youth?
Let's see. Yes, Stephen King. I read It when I was really young. Yes. I was like 12 or 13 when I read It, which I consider young for that book.
Oh yeah.
And 12 or 13? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to be like 55, I think, to read it. There should be an NC 55 rating on that book.
Yeah, and that caused me to forever be scared of clowns, obviously. Yes. And so I read a lot of that. I read some Dean Koonz and stuff like that, some of the random ones.
Did you read The Face?
Yeah, I made Kristen read The Face, and I don't think she's forgiven me for it since then.
Yeah, I should stop borrowing books from you. Although you did give me this one,
but I did lend you Leah's, so...
She gives me these awful books that are super scary / sad. Mm-hmm. Anyway, did you read The Face?
No, I haven't.
Oh, don't read it. It's very scary. Or read it. You like them, so it's good.
Yeah. If you like scary things, then it's good, which you clearly do. So.
Yeah. But I think my all-time favorite, and I don't know if I really consider it a horror novel, but it's definitely got some scary scenes in it, is called Swan Song by Robert McGammon.
The name sounds familiar, but I don't believe I've read it.
I suggest it to every person that ever comes near me.
Add it to the post-it, laddie. Add it to the post-it.
Put that number one.
Swan Song?
Swan Song. And it was just this really epic thing. It's kind of like post-apocalyptic and scary stuff. It's good.
I like post-apocalyptic. That's always fun.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
Other than that, as far as horror-wise, The Walking Dead. I've been watching that here recently. I've been catching up. And
it's too, I can't, like... Zombies I can't do because gore. I'm like,
there's a lot of gore in that show.
Yeah, I watched the first season, and then it was like beyond that. I was like, this is gross. I can't do it.
It can be rough.
Yeah, but now when you write, do you write like gory stuff, or is it more like tense suspense? Like, what's your favorite horror type?
I try to do a combination of both. You know, where there's, there's the build-up, and then the payoff is, I was worried about how far to go.
Right.
Since it's young adult and stuff, but, everybody just told me, go the limit, and you can always, make it better.
Yeah.
But,
well, I mean, like, if you think about it I think, there's almost like this imaginary level of, like, that's too much in young adult and stuff like that, but look at what we were reading at pretty young ages and things like that. Like, kids have kind of got it figured out pretty early on.
I mean, they're smart enough. Yeah.
They can handle it.
Except we've raised an entire generation to be afraid of clowns.
That's a really good
point.
I
honestly don't think I cannot think of any of my friends who is not afraid of clowns.
Yeah. No, nobody likes them.
I hate them. They need to go away.
Yeah.
People put pictures of Pennywise on my Facebook all the time, and I'm just like, oh, somebody left me something on Facebook. No!
That's so mean. Why would anyone do
It's
that?
mean, and they do it all the time now.
Oh my gosh. Although, to be fair, I will also walk up behind people and be like, we all float down here. Like that, so I guess I do the same thing, but I don't know. It comes from... I had older brothers that sort of like, you know, jerky needing to scare people comes from that, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I have older brothers too, so
yeah.
I get that.
I watched the movie of it when I was like in like second grade at a sleepover. I did not sleep. What kind
of parents let you guys do that?
Well,
I guess
mean,
my dad watched it with me, so what do I know about parents? I shouldn't really judge those parents.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of those things, like, your parents don't let you watch them, you just do. Like, I think the parents went to bed, and we were all still
I guess I should judge my own dad then, because I definitely watched it with him and was like, why are we watching this?
You're a bad
let
parent.
Me watch lots of things you shouldn't have.
Yeah,
my mom would come in, she's like, why are you letting her watch this? My dad's like, I don't know. It's like some action movie where it's like super gory, you know, and I'm like little.
Yeah.
It's like some rated R.
Mallrat was that movie for me.
What was?
Mallrat.
Oh.
Mallrat. My brother, I was young, and he let me watch Mallrats, and my mom could see it in the TV in her room, like they were connected, and so she, God, why are you letting her watch this?
But at that point, it's too late. Like, oh, this is happening.
Yeah, I had already seen, you know, the nipple scene, and it was...
That's hilarious. I know, I feel like, I don't know, I always wonder if it just seems like we got away with a lot in, like, the 90s or whatever, like the 80s and 90s, or if, like, kids now are still doing the same thing. I feel like there's, like, a lot of ways parents can control it that they couldn't when we were kids, though. Like, oh, they can program the TV to not show you certain things and, like, close off your internet. And I was like, I knew how to work the internet better than my parents did when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Although kids probably do now, too.
Yeah. Pretty sure a lot of them can bypass those parental controls or something. I don't know. I hear about that on, you know, like SVU and stuff like, oh, they bypass the parental locks. I'm like, how do you do that? That sounds hard.
Yeah. They used kid magic. And
It's like, they have wands? Like, how are they doing that?
I don't know.
But...
Oh, I did actually, there was one more thing I did want to bring up about your work and everything. The Life of Writers blog.
Oh, yeah.
And just, you know, a brief overview of what that is and how that started.
Excuse me. Well, me and a friend of mine, Stephanie Gaither, who her book comes out this year, Falls the Shadow.
Nice. Sweet deal.
Great, about clones and stuff.
Ooh.
Wait, you say clones or clowns?
Clones. Orphan Black, not it.
Yes.
That way. Yeah.
We, you know, we thought, oh, it'd be fun to do a group blog, and we just started it up. I mean, right now we're taking a break because it's hard to come up with content.
Yeah, absolutely.
For writer's blogs, but we wanted to just be really honest about what it is actually like to decide to really go at it.
Yeah.
To really go after being a writer and getting an agent and being published, and just we wanted to be honest about it.
Yeah, which I think is awesome. I think that idea is just phenomenal because so many of us, I think, love like the idea somewhere out there of being a writer, and then you don't just magically know how. And nobody's like, you can find these bits and pieces here and there, like, oh, here's an agent's blog or things like that. But what's it like from the writer's perspective and from multiple writers' perspectives? So I think that's a really cool thing you guys are doing.
Thanks.
I'm just impressed that you wrote more than 5 pages. That to me is like, woo. You guys are.
I'm impressed too. I'm surprised I did it too.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
Do you ever do like those like NaNoWriMo or anything like that, or?
I try. I ever succeed.
That makes me feel good, you know, that, like, you can be a successful writer and not be able to complete a NaNoWriMo.
No, I try. I usually sell at, like, 5,000 words. Like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
I can't do this.
That's great. Well, okay.
Wait, hold on.
Oh.
What's a NaNoWriMo?
Laddie, it's like you don't even pay attention to me. Gosh.
I'm sorry. I didn't spell it right, so I don't know if it's coming up correct.
It's National Novel Writing Month, and right now it's Camp NaNoWriMo, so it's like the summer version of that, which I'm failing miserably at. But I actually have done NaNoWriMo, and I've tried it for about 8 years now. More than that. I've been trying this since, like, high school. And I've only actually managed to finish it twice.
That's more than me. That's way more than me. I'm 0.
I'm 2 for like 13 attempts on this or something like that, though. So it's nothing to brag about. But yeah, it's National Novel Writing Month, and the idea is that over the course of 30 days, you write 50,000 words, and you just don't worry about, like, revising as you go along and all those things that people do that slow them down when they write. You just write it and then worry about editing and stuff like that afterwards. And so, yeah, it's kind of a fun little thing because you have, like, a community of people who are also doing it at the same time, which is, like, you know, it's nice to have that support system where you're like, we're all, like, up till 3 a.m. tonight because we did not write enough words earlier, and, you know, it's solidarity. So, actually, though, the first time I ever won it, it was, like, mostly because I was, like, competing with my ex-boyfriend to see who could finish it fastest. And so I was like, ha! I beat you. I got it done like 14 hours before he did. Like, yeah. Anyways,
typical.
That was fun.
Typical.
Well, that's how you spur me on. Anyways, so let's talk about some pop culture action here. And since Leah, you said you had feels about this,
yes.
Let's talk about J.K. We talked a little bit about this last week in her putting out like a new daily whatchamacallit? Profit article. Mm-hmm. This week she did one as well that's like a live blog of the Quidditch World Cup, and it is Ginny Weasley and Rita Skeeter sort of tag teaming it. Rita Skeeter talking about the like gossipy elements of it, like what are the Dumbledore's Army people doing in the crowd, and Ginny actually talking about what's happening on the field. I'm curious to see if you feel how we felt about these things or if you feel differently. So what are your thoughts on JK's new forays into the Harry Potter universe?
Well, I read the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't read the Quidditch World Cup thing with Ginny and Rita yet. Mm-hmm. But I just feel like it is not over for her. I feel like there will be more.
Right.
Because you can't give us that kind of thing and then not have any idea what else happened. Like, where did the scar on Harry's face come from? I need to know about that.
Yeah, right. It feels like she is prepping us for something.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is not over for her, and it's not over for us either.
Now, see, Kristen and I, we felt we were like, she needs to stop touching it, because I feel like
no, she needs to write more books.
She needs to write more. Well, and actually, I think that's what I said last week, is that she either needs to stop or she needs to just suck it up and write more books.
Do it.
Because she can't keep, like, throwing out, like, these little tidbits here and there and being like,
torture.
Oh, here's, you know, like, the famous bombshell of, like, oh, Dumbledore's gay, or here's this thing, or, like, you know, here's a live blog from the Quidditch World Cup, and, like, not develop it. I'm like, that's not fair. And I don't like just amending it. She needs to just go ahead and write the books if she wants to write the books.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if she's, like, trying some kind of experiment with Pottermore.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to give you any more books, but I'll give you more information on this website, and that'll keep you satisfied. It's not.
Yeah, no, that's not enough.
Not doing it for me. I'm sorry. I need books.
Yeah. That's kind of how I feel about, like, I think.
Yeah. I don't want anything. I just want her to stop. Period.
Yeah, I think, like, I'm probably more on the, like, it ended, it is what it is.
Yeah, and it was great. Like, we had a great run.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. Like, I feel like this is Michael Jordan coming back to play for the Wizards, you know? It's like, Dude, you had a great run. You
what
should
a
have
reference.
just let it. I watched a lot of Michael Jordan videos as a child. My brother
I just forgot all
was
about
obsessed
that.
with him.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things where it was great. So end on top, because if you come back,
and
it's just,
not there.
I have a hard time I mean, especially based on what she's been giving us on Pottermore, I don't think it's going to be that great.
Yeah.
Like, I was not impressed by the Rita Skeeter article. I only got partway through the blog because it was really boring. I'm like, so I'm reading a play-by-play? It's like reading World Cup soccer play-by-play. It's like,
yeah.
nobody cares. Like, that was always the kind of boring parts of the book.
Yeah.
Oh, so-and-so stopped the, quaffle. I'm like, okay, just tell me who wins at the end. Unless, like, Dementors are coming in and ruining the game, or something happens in the middle. Like, I don't super care. Like, I do, but I kind of don't. And so, I don't know.
I'm sorry. How would you feel if she did, like, because she really talked about Victor, the Phil and Flora's daughter, and Teddy, Remus and Tom,
Teddy Lupin,
son. She really talked about them.
Yeah.
How would you feel if she did another series involving the children? Is that the same thing? Just like,
it's kind of the same. I honestly, the only thing I think I would be really excited about would be a book that's in the world, like in the wizarding world, but it's not any of those characters.
To do with those characters.
So it's just a new.
I'd be happy with
Yeah.
that.
So maybe it's, I don't know, just something else. Like, she talks about Goblin Wars. They talk about all these things that have happened in the past. Like, hey, let's have a story about that and why the goblins hate wizards so much. Like, let's go back and investigate that relationship. That could be a fun kind of book.
Kind of a Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
There's
something. Yeah, it's like the Hobbit and exactly.
Yeah,
I think that would be interesting because she mentioned so many things in the books that could totally have a lot of story in it. I don't know. I've invested the time in the characters and I love them, but I just feel like I don't want them to be ruined. I want them just to stay.
Especially now that they're like celebrities in this world and stuff like that. I'm like, I'm having a hard time with them as like, the celebrities of the world. It's like, let's talk about something else,
Yeah.
It's weird to imagine them like basically like the Kardashians.
Well,
like, I don't like it. I don't like that at all. So I don't know, but yeah, I think I'm in between the two camps. I think I think I could do something in the world that wasn't necessarily Harry Potter related. But I also think like if she's not going to stop, she needs to just write the books and not keep tossing out little tidbits at us and being like, ta-da, here you go.
Here you go.
I know
more. You're starving, but here's a crumb of bread. That's all you get.
Freaking JK.
Don't you think that's kind of, I feel like that's mean a little bit. Yeah. It's almost mean. I'm like, you know what, JK? We were very devoted to you. We deserve better than this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deserve more from you.
I mean, but there's always going to be a part of me that does want more books, just because I miss the experience of the anticipation and like theorizing with your friends. Like, we would have hours-long arguments in college, like, oh my god, you think this is like Snape gonna be good or bad? Is like all these kinds of things, and we would debate.
And you would be like, what page are you on? Because you don't want to say where you are.
You don't
story just like you memorize it. Oh, I'm on 380. Okay, well, I'm only on 260, so don't, I don't know.
Yeah.
We even held like a Harry Potter tournament once
I was
at
there.
school. Yeah.
I was there. That was like the one thing I went to at Vanguard. Amazing.
Well, and it wasn't like a real event. It was like a bunch of us just decided we were going to make a Harry Potter tournament. And we it was planned like a month in advance, and we all studied. Like, we had like our team, which was called Dead Serious, had a like
too soon,
book.
Corey. That is too soon.
Yeah, but we had a book that was like this thick that was like printed out like Wikipedia pages and stuff about everything that we were all like, we'd sit in the caf and like read it, like we gotta know everything. And then the team
That's probably why I lost.
The team that won ended up like just getting like all the really easy questions. We were like, dang it, like every one of theirs was just like super simple. We were all so mad. Anyways, Harry Potter, that's happening. But another thing that's happening is Weird Al's new video. Did you guys get a chance to watch that?
I watched it.
Yeah.
I watched it. I loved it.
I liked it.
It's cute. I think, like, in a sense, I feel like a little too old for like Weird Al songs. Like, I'm like, it's a little much, but the video is amazing.
Dude, all of those people
Yes.
I love one shot where it's
just the one continuous.
Love that.
Yeah.
It was awesome. I loved it.
Have we talked before? I can't remember if we've discussed this before, Kristen, and obviously we have not discussed with you, Leah, but about how perfect Aisha Tyler is.
Oh, we haven't, but we can.
Oh my gosh.
If I had Whose Line Is It Anyway, I would watch it. But
if that were on your one channel.
If that was on Ion. Come on, Ion. I'm going to petition them for all the new shows I want them to add.
Right? Like,
no, we haven't, but she's
hilarious, and she's a total geek. And so she's like the first celebrity cameo in this video, which also has Eric Stonestreet from Modern Family. It has Margaret Cho. It has
Jack Black.
Kristen
Shaw.
Yeah. It's so happy.
It's perfect. It's great. Everything about it is
also,
awesome.
Sometimes I was looking at some articles of clothing that they were wearing, because the video is called Tacky. It's about being tacky.
And
some
it's
of
great
those I was like, I kind of wear that. I would totally wear that.
I just loved more of his. I guess when I'm thinking when it came out and I saw the picture, like the stills of what they're wearing, I'm like, oh, it's about tacky clothes, but it was really more of like tacky things that you do, and I was just dying. He's like, if you think this is okay, then you're tacky too.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I know.
I actually saw, because one of the lines in there is about like taking a selfie at a funeral with the deceased, and I saw a thing that was going around about like a guy who did that at like a relative who he didn't like's funeral, and he's like, next to the body. I was like, oh my god. It was like on one of those BuzzFeed lists that's like, this is why we can't have nice things, or like, things like that. And I was just like, what?
That's horrible.
All his Facebook friends are like, is that real? Please tell me that's not real. What is that? But I actually have seen people do that, like, not maliciously. Like, people take pictures like with the like coffin and like with the bodies and stuff. I'm like, what's wrong with you?
Are they smiling in the picture?
I've seen smiling ones and I've seen non-smiling ones, like solemn, like,
I don't know. I don't know why I would. I don't know. That just doesn't seem necessary.
Well, guys, I guess we're not tacky.
Apparently.
At least not for that reason.
Nice. Yeah.
Should probably go through the list of all the things they say in that and check off what I do and don't do.
Yeah, I wanted to listen to it again so I could just make sure. Okay, not tacky. Not tacky.
Thank God. Not tacky. Yeah.
Thank God, Weird Al, for giving us a checklist so we can really know.
Yeah, it's so good. I recommend watching it. It's just like, that's classic Weird Al right there, and just showing.
And the Nerdist produced it.
Yeah, and so
which is awesome.
Yeah, which is the only news source for Kristen Lotterell.
It's true. I know. I feel like everything I ever showed, I'm like, on Nerdist, I read that. Anyway. And I just re-listened to the Tom Hiddleston podcast they did. It was like 1.5 years ago or something.
There's a Tom Hiddleston podcast that they did.
Leah, I'm thinking really... Okay. So there's the 2 podcasts you should listen to for Nerdist. One is Tom Hiddleston, and one is Tom Hanks. This first Tom Hanks one.
Yeah.
Who is just a beautiful man. But it's Tom Hiddleston, and it was right when Thor... When did Thor come out last fall?
The Dark World, the second one.
Yeah. Whenever that one came out, he was on this podcast talking, and he's wonderful. Everything about him is wonderful. I just can't say enough.
Obviously.
Yeah.
It's just...
You're gonna love it, is what she's saying. And
amazing.
Oh,
everything.
Gosh.
Everything.
And he speaks French in it for a little bit. I about passed out on the floor. It was the most incredible thing ever. I know. I'm getting hot just thinking about it.
Yeah. Oh god, that's Bradley Cooper does that from time to time too, and I'm like,
I bet.
Every time he speaks French, I'm just like,
I'm like drooling.
Yeah.
Rewind.
Yeah.
Replay.
That was like, there was the first time I ever saw him speaking French something. It was like a video that was only like 35 seconds long or so. It's like I had to have watched that like 12 times. It's just
it was the newsreel where he's like at a French news station, right?
And it's a blue background.
Yeah.
And the woman speaking with him is French, so she doesn't care as much. I'm sure she thinks he's very attractive, but all of us American women are like, oh my god.
That just happened. Yeah.
Where's the gif of Annalie when she just melts to the floor, puddle.
Exactly. Oh my gosh.
So true.
But anyway, Tom Hiddleston is perfect. And,
it's the most perfect podcast interview of Tom Hiddleston.
I'm gonna go
I've only
find
listened to one.
And we're done. I'm just gonna
Yeah, go
find
straight
it
to that.
immediately.
Oh, I encourage that wholeheartedly. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Um,
Actually,
so
I think I have it on my phone. I can tell you the exact date because I'm pathetic.
no.
I just listened to it the other day. Anyway, keep talking. I'm listening. What are we doing next?
Well, the thing that also obviously you must have feelings about as well is that the Doctor Who trailer, the full one, was just released during the World Cup. Did you watch that?
Yes, I did. There was a T-Rex in it.
There was! I was like...
What is happening? What is going to happen?
Yeah. It's very heavy. It's very serious, this trailer.
Yeah, I can see this season being very serious, which I'm kind of okay with.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I loved 11 and his kind of like goofy stuff, and then whenever he gets really serious, I'm like, yes. And but having a more serious than he is goofy kind of Doctor, I think I'm gonna like that.
Yeah, I have good feelings about Peter Capaldi. I'm always back and forth on modern Doctor Who. I mean, I love Tennant, obviously, because who doesn't love Tennant? Matt Smith, I really didn't like, and then I kind of liked, and I go back and forth on it. But I don't know. I'm interested. Did you read the leaked scripts, or did you leave that alone?
No, I left it alone.
Yeah.
Did you?
Well, anyone who is interested in hearing about the leaked scripts but not reading them, on our website, electricbeast.com, Charles Moak did write a whole thing about spoilers and the Doctor Who scripts and his thoughts on them. And on Stephen Moffat, who he has very charged thoughts about in general, which is always entertaining to hear Charles rants. Yeah, I mean, everybody has thoughts on Stephen Moffat. So check that out. All of these links, by the way, will be on our website, on the blog at electricfeast.com. You can see the trailer for next Doctor Who. But I got really excited seeing a dinosaur and Peter Capaldi just being like a cool old guy asking, am I a good man? I was like immediately.
Give it to me now.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So that'll be interesting. I'm curious about it. And then the last thing that we were going to just discuss and touch on is this. Ridley Scott is putting out a film. And I don't understand the genre. Maybe it's just me. He's putting out a biblical epic, as they're calling it. It's Exodus. What's it? Gods and
Gods
Kings?
and Kings. Yeah, I think that's what it's called.
It's got Christian Bale. It's got, what's that Australian guy's name?
Joel Edgerton.
Joel Edgerton in, like, this weird,
Sigourney
like,
Weaver.
runner. Yeah.
Ben Kingsley is in it, I think.
Boy.
Yeah, Ben Kingsley is in it.
It looks terrible.
So boring. It looks so boring, you guys.
Like, who's the audience for this?
Old.
I guess I don't like
White men.
every time they put out something like this, I'm always just and I feel this way too about like The Rock is in Hercules right now, and I love The Rock.
I don't know about that either.
Yeah.
Oh, you do?
Oh, I love The Rock.
I think he's a really good guy, but I don't know about that movie.
Yeah, like that movie looks so like who do they think is going to see this? And they spend a bajillion dollars on these movies about gods, whether Christian or otherwise, and like do they ever make that back?
So
They can't possibly. I don't know.
Yeah.
How did Noah do? Do we know?
I don't think it.
I mean, I think
I don't
it
know
did
for sure, but I don't think it did well.
Yeah, I'm like, I feel like it probably did better than I think it did, but I mean, I also think there's something novel about having Darren Aronofsky direct that brought people to the movie theater that wouldn't have otherwise.
What else?
But I don't know.
I don't know who that is.
Who, Darren Aronofsky?
He did the Swan.
Black
Swan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it was like almost like novelty.
Yeah.
And also like powered off of like Christian outrage too, where people felt like they wanted to go see it because Christians were so mad about it.
Yeah.
Which,
That's not how it happened.
Yeah, that's not how it happened in the book. Like, oh man.
And I'm like, hey, we could say that about the 6th Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no
Or all
outcry
Harry
there.
Potters, to be fair.
Anyway.
There was
What?
a little bit.
True.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying as an example.
Yeah.
Well, even though I'm not calling the Bible like Harry Potter.
Same. Like
It's my Bible. It's my Bible.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just like every time I see these trailers for these big biblical epics or movies about like gods, Greek gods, Roman gods, all this kind of stuff, I'm just like, who is this aimed at, and why are they spending so much money to make them? And how do you get Christian Bale? And why is everyone in this white? Like, you know,
that was my question. That was my question.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, it's not like this is a date movie.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like at least 300 had like, you know, dude abs and butts. Like,
yeah.
I don't
get it. I'm not gonna watch it.
Yeah, and then like Ridley Scott's got another one coming, right, Kristen?
But yeah, the other one is more. It's going to be a TV movie, allegedly, or talking about. Yeah. So maybe they're realizing that the big epics aren't going to make them any money, so they're going to move to TV. I don't know, but I'm thinking if this one looks awful and it's for the big screen, I can only imagine what he's making a David one, or talking about making a David one, and I don't. I mean, there wasn't a lot of information. It was like barely like 2 lines of he's going to possibly make David at some point on TV. Maybe, I don't know what's happening, you know. So, but I'm thinking but the person that was writing the article was on Crack's like, oh, because biblical epics are all the rage. I'm like, what
are they?
Who's rage? My rage.
It's like you keep using that phrase.
Yeah, and I think it means, or what I think it means. Yeah.
What was that accent, laddie?
That's my one accent that I do. It's like Spanish, Italian, any foreign. It's my French. It's not all the same.
Yeah.
Keep on using that word. I do not think it means, or what you think it means.
It's like kind of what's it, Scarface-esque.
Yes, it's also my gangster. It's also my Marlon Brando. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday. Leave the gun, take the cannoli.
Oh boy. Yeah, she is an accent. She's an impressions extraordinaire over here.
It's true. I'm super good at it.
So I don't think any of us are going to be going to see Exodus in the theater. And Christian Bale, what are you doing? What are you doing with your life, Holmes?
It's like, I don't think Batman's over, so he's like, got nothing better to do, or what?
I know, you gotta make that money.
Yeah.
Does he, though?
I don't know. This is what actors always say. I mean, like, even J-Law, she's like, you know, when they were asking her about, like, oh, why were you willing to do 4 Hunger Games movies instead of 3? And she's like, because do you know how much they're paying me? Because you make a bajillion dollars.
But Christian Bale is a serious actor, Corey, and he doesn't do things just for money.
Yeah.
I just think of him as really angry now.
Yeah.
After that whole thing, I just think Christian Bale. I don't think Batman. I just think, wow, he's really angry.
What an angry man. Anyways, so I think we've covered most of our topics for the day, and learned a lot about Leah here. So thank you so much for hanging out with us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This was so much fun.
Any old time. You're welcome back to the cave anytime. If there's ever anything you want to talk about. Yeah. And tell the listeners where they can find you on the internet.
I am all over the place. I'm on Twitter, Leah R. Miller, Leah R_Miller. I'm sure you'll have like links and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we'll link to all this. Yeah.
I'm on Twitter. I'm on Goodreads. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Pinterest. I'm on Tumblr. Any old place. Pitiful.
Fantastic. And Goodreads is always the one I suggest. That's my favorite social network in the world. So add her on Goodreads.
I have a Goodreads account. I have it.
Even Kristen has Goodreads.
But I don't have a review on it. I just have it because Corey told me I should get it.
Yeah. Because our book club is called Goodreads and Google+, so it seems like you should have a Goodreads account, you know. Yeah. All right. Well then, folks, this has been episode 23-ish of Electric Fancave. I don't even know if I said it at the beginning of the episode, but it sounds about right. I think it's episode 23.
It's the one after the one we did last week.
It is, yeah. So if you're following along at home, it's the next in numerical order. Check us out on electricbeast.com. We'll have links to everything that we talked about and to all of Leah's profiles that you can find her on and friend her on and so forth. Check out The Summer I Became a Nerd. It's a wonderful read that we all love. So you can check us out on SoundCloud, on iTunes, on Stitcher, anywhere fine podcasts are stowed. And if you want to get in touch. You can comment on the YouTube, comment on the Electric Feast Facebook, on the blog, anywhere you like. And we may talk back to you. We like to do that sometimes. We probably will. It's the thing
if we have nothing better to do, we will.
Nothing, we just feel like you're cool or whatever.
I'm not watching Flashpoint. Maybe I'll respond to you.
So until next week, when we are back with Sarah Benincasa, author of Agorafabulous and Great, I am Corrigan Vaughn.
I'm Kristen Latterell.
And this here is Leah Rae Miller. Peace out, everybody. Oh, but I just can't. It, in my head, it's just full of germs.
Yeah.
It's like those, remember, the bendy straws you would use when you were a kid and stuff like that?
Yeah.
It's like that.
Because it has teeth marks on it?
Yep, teeth marks.
Because after I go to the bathroom, I rub my hand on it so that it has butt germs on it. I mean, it's clean. I do soap and water.